For faith corruption, now one of the biggest call of caretaker bill. This is because corruption don't on national security inside we yard. It's same way to call all people them inside we yard for make the effort in the fight against this corruption we don't on national security.
So I encourage all Sierra Leoneans to join me to fight corruption. This is just the beginning. As you might have learned, ending corruption or reducing corruption to the minimum is not just a governance issue. It's actually an existential issue because of the level and scale of corruption in this country. If we do not fight and win the fight against corruption, we are preparing this nation for another problem that will take us down. Corruption is at a level that can destroy this nation. I consider the level of corruption that we have met as a national security issue.
Well, for March 2020, the African Express done the poll boku figures them of money when they say this administration under caretaker bill don't they mismanage. This don't make plenty accusation and counter accusation don't they come up. Well, remember this word. Dr. Dennis Bright say Italic say the errata don't the big pass the puss. We mean say Italic say corruption don't the grow trend past the Anti-Corruption Commission. Well, we don't see say then they defend different things them we get for do with corruption or corruption allegation.
This government every week they get explanation. Every week something they happen, we pass them can explain. It reach tell people and they fed up with the explanation. And that is what we are doing now.
Well, as the bill administration, the 3 years now office, the SRPP government don't say the APC government synonymous to corruption, we mean say then good pan corrupt business. And them, the SRPP government, synonymous to development and transparency. We mean say pan development business then good and for be transparent then same way so day before. Anyway, let we take time and listen to this program when a Good Morning Salon na 98.1, yeah? And then you see whose grade where you go give this government with regards corruption, transparency and development.
We want for welcome CDI Tunis in the acting publicity secretary for the All People's Congress. Good morning, Mr. Tunis, and welcome to the program.
Good morning, Asma. Good morning, Mabel. Good morning, Sierra Leone. Thank you very much for inviting me.
And we expect Lahai Lawrence Liman, we are the publicity secretary national for the Salon People's Party. But I start with you, CDI Tunis. I start for talk about President's pronouncement where he say they treat corruption not only as governance issue but also as security threat. Now 3 years they go so since the BO administration came into governance. From the APC perspective, how una see the fight against corruption?
Well, thank you very much, Asma. I mean, corruption and accountability or transparency issue now something where we take very seriously as a political party. And we records where, as we go into the program, I will clearly highlight them, show how much effort the former president, Dr. Anes Baikoroma, make for fight corruption. We see we come from the 2000 Act, we amend them in 2008. We give the Anti-Corruption Commission more strength, give them prosecutorial powers, add more offenses. The 2000 Act we get about, I think, 12 offenses. Under the 2008 Act, we see the offenses under the anti-corruption law increased to about 28 or 29 or so. And we see a lot of prosecutions. We now sitting ministers, sitting commissioners, heads of parastatals. We've been served now the Kuruma administration. We now see where the former regime use them as political tool for go after people who serve now the Tijan Kaba administration. And we see a lot of efforts with the various commissioners they make, from prosecutions to efforts then for, prevent corruption, such as the pay no bribe campaign, the introduction of the assets declaration regime, the introduction of the assets declaration, online asset declaration platform under Adi Macaulay, we actually help we for gain some of the international scores then. Now with President Bill, we see and say in corruption pronouncement, not they match the actions as far as we are concerned. Because, since then come now power, we don't see their own fight against corruption. They target more of the opposition. They go after people na the opposition. They go after people we, they na level we, not to highly politically exposed people or high profile people. We are yet to see corruption where they, really look at what's in the happen now. And as you can see, we don't see blatant corruption they happen under this administration. When you look at the various audit reports, and we don't come out, the 2018 audit report, it highlight a lot of corrupt practices we don't happen at various offices, ministries, departments, and agencies. The same with the 2019 audit report, which show clearly say people don't even become more emboldened for involved in corrupt practices now than we don't ever see in the history of this country. To a point that we go lost 177 billion loan inside 1 year. And what's even more disturbing than that, out of that 177 billion we misappropriated according to the audit report, 65 billion of that amount they now inside the office of the president. And we also see where then carry on the audit of Nakova. Just 3 months, in 3 months, 92 billion misappropriated. And we don't see now, recent times, through the Africanist press, we don't see more and more revelations pointing fingers at the highest office in this country, the office of the president and that of the first lady. We see withdrawals, cash transfers, abuse of processes, violation of procurement laws, all of them things then we don't see. And we know actually they see any effort on the part of the ACC for investigate their matters they are so. So as far as we are concerned, President Bill's own definition of fighting corruption now basically for harass political opponents and people who are not sharing political views.
Yeah, the Anti-Corruption Commission are the institution that were responsible for the fight against corruption with support from other ministry departments and agencies them, and we don't see structures them where they don't put in place for ensure the fight against corruption then continue with them. And one of them are the systems and processes where they can do na ministry departments and agencies for ensure they're not even involved in corrupt practice. For the All People's Congress, the systems and processes, for example, where the Anti-Corruption Commission don't they use for work with ministry departments and agencies then for let them not involve in corrupt practice. Una feel say this don't help in any way pan the fight against corruption?
It been the help. You hearing me highlight some of the things that way the former commissioners then do. Like Adi Macaulay, for example, we are the immediate past commissioner. The kind of systems and processes we put in place, take the corruption fight to the people, increase the level of awareness and public education, and a try for bringing everybody for let all man understand their role. And, but when you fight corruption also, one key important thing we get for ensured, say, not missing, now the public confidence and the public trust.
This don't missing now?
It don't missing. Whereas you have the systems and processes in place, where now then we see repeatedly violated, and not only the systems and processes violated, you see blatant theft, blatant corruption. But where you get corrupt practice don't happen, and then the gatekeeper, the one we're supposed for, ensure say we all get the public confidence and the public trust, be the first defender of a practice where the public don't deem as corrupt, and they reduce public confidence and public trust. And we don't see that they happen under this administration. You take, for example, nobody is saying that, whatever allegations they bring against the person immediately guilty. For example, when the case of the chief minister, for instance, involving the 1.5 million, the commissioner come in and defend. We don't know whether he investigate. We don't know what's has been the investigative process. That it raised eyebrow. And then, of course, you see the case of the First Lady, and now the various revelations, then we will see they come out. But then two key things then will happen, really, we, for us, it stand out as one, as then we reduce public confidence completely. When they fight corruption, when they don't bring reports, for example, they investigate. And then once you investigate, then the one that will do the investigation can do the report, and then the commissioner can use in prosecutorial discretion for indict and charge the matter go court. Now we see where clearly they investigate people at the Ministry of Education. For the rest we come for them school picking and school feeding, we clearly people and shape the rest. They don't use the rest for the purpose. They investigate, then charge the matter, go court, and then later the ACC go say they don't get evidence, then pull the matter in court. You also get a case involving the president of the drivers union. Investigate, indict, charge the matter, go court, and then go later, then pull the matter, say we don't get evidence. And 3 days later, this person was appointed to a board by the president. I mean, you don't need for be a rocket scientist for understand who side the pressure come off for let that case they go come on a court. Because if the man they under investigation, they're not going to appoint him as board member. So the case beneath for come on a court for let them get the appointment. So all of them things they show the unwillingness and probably the political pressure we mount on the commission, where they prevent them from doing their work independently as a commission for curb corruption at this country.
We don't see that revelation the way they come on, Mr. Tunis, but the different allegation them way the African is placed on the pool. Outside the commission, pool really say then go don't begin investigate some of the side them way the Africanist press pool. But you don't make your revelation, your explanation, I ask say, when they now see blatant corruption and also the pronouncement of presidents not match the actions where they happen now. With regards to the fight against corruption from the ACC, the APC gets confidence in the commission, say then they fight or then go fight corruption.
Well, we know say the commission not the fight corruption the way it's supposed for the fight corruption. So we confidence level don't reduce drastically. We feel say the commission don't fall short in many cases, and we feel say the commission they target people within the administration were clearly involved in corrupt practices. Then focus more now on the opposition, the APC to be specific, and people we not there in high places. I mean, a lot of times we audit report they come up, people they say, oh, now systems and processes. No, Asma. The audit reports so don't they see in recent times, not so just about violations of systems and processes. When you employ somebody as consultant, we not get the requirement in any way, and we not get the experience of any kind. You hire them as consultant, pay them exorbitant amount of money monthly, where even with professors not the earn, not to systems and processes violation and it. Now blatant corruption.
Now outside this don't happen.
NACOVAC, it clearly states in the audit report, when you bring rest for school picking and feeding, and then the rest then shape am, when you get say then shape the rest, and ACC self don't recover some of them rest then they. That is not violation of systems, processes. Now, blatant corruption. And so when we see them kind of corrupt practices, and now we see evidences of such monies being withdrawn and transferred for purchases of furniture, air tickets, and all of them things then they. And, we commissioner, they tell we say, okay, well, we get for investigate, but we go 14 years back. I mean, that is really like where they pierce nerve na people and heart. A lot of people and heart want for that. So corruption, President Bill tell we say, we all for joining for fight corruption as citizens of this nation. And so if you were in charge, you're responsible for fight, and allegations don't come on for investigate. But this idea where allegations come on, all man they can for defend. The last time I heard on a program where the NPPA boss they can't defend the procurement processes. You now the regulator. You job now for regulate for let people and do the right things. You job not to for can't sit on a radio for defend the wrongs. And I mean say when you give sole sourcing, that means a right under the law. No. I mean, so we get for the look at them things they are all and take this fight as a serious fight. But as far as we are concerned, this administration's definition of corruption now for go after APC, for kill them, make them not exist.
All right, CDI at Tunis, in the acting publicity secretary for the All People's Congress party, they are this morning for talk about the way how the BO administration they fight corruption as the country are now office. Can we continue with the program? Good morning, Salon. We come to you from 98.1 FM. Well, in the democracy, they continue for look at the fights against corruption as the BO-led administration the country has in office. Well, now the program, I be say we expect Lahai Lawrence Liman, they are in the capacity as the publicity secretary for the SLPP. Good morning and welcome to the program.
Good morning, 98.1. Mrs. James, good morning. Thank you for having me here.
All right. When you look at the fight against corruption, where you consider the various publications them way don't they come out, and the APC very dissatisfied say on the party SLPP don't reduce public confidence in the fight against corruption. From the SLPP perspective, how first off when I see the fight against corruption under this administration?
Well, Naga just start with this. I actually not come for verify any blackmailing here. Actually, they come put out issues that were really factual and evidence-based. And we're largely professional. So we as a party, firstly, we come in power on the one of the campaign's items of fighting corruption. And we not only put on our manifesto, we also try for translate them into policy actions. We bring out the National Action Plan. Plans we now part of the National Action Plan, we now public policies, we also government prioritize the fight against corruption. And the fight against corruption really largely get to do with perception. And we as a party very pleased with the perception this administration don't achieve in terms of really letting people understand within corruption how it destroy a nation and how even it threaten national security. And waiting as a government we can do for change that mindset. And over time we don't see the current ACC with the political willingness this administration, the leadership and the entire administration don't give to the ACC, forget the free hands for operate. We don't see the practicality or pragmatism in which they don't actually approach corruption. We don't really bring to the minds of the general populace and even the international community for that perception about corruption in this country change. And before this time, let we take, for instance, the audit report. Normally, where it come out, it's been very difficult for you get ACC for really try for look into issues them way the audit report they raise. But what the current ACC don't do because they get the free hand for operate, then don't try for collaborate with the Public Account Committee in Parliament for make themselves able for see how much they're able for look into some of them issues. And that's now one of the agendas of this administration in terms of the delivering service effectively to the people of this country. We see say MDAs, then for the partners, then for the collaborates, for see Usai, this person in your authority stop, and Usai, the other person in your authority, go able for complement, so that holistically we'll go able for achieve the result for deliver with manifesto. So over time, we don't see Usai, even the ACC don't collaborate with the Public Account Committee in our Parliament, and don't able for bring out clarity on issues where the audit reports don't they raise, and where people don't able for know based on how them systematically put the things them. It not necessarily means when issues are raised of where audit issues are raised, it necessarily, it largely go for imbibe the notion say corruption really don't take place. ACC over time don't take them time for look into some of them issues then and don't bring them out clearly. Usai lapses then they don't go into and don't try for clear out some of their lapses then they, and some way, to some extent, even some people that don't lost their job, they don't succeed in convicting people them way in our public offices, even in this administration, they don't convict them. Some man don't lost in job, some man don't go jail. So ACC don't retrieve money way almost up to is it 30 billion? I want for, because I really want for approximate, I guess, say up to 30 billion way ACC go down retrieve. We don't see them publicly where they don't display outside and they hand over checks to His Excellency the President. And over time, even the President in his speeches then way they give from time to time, they emphasize the point of corruption. And we don't see also the commission of inquiry don't come, it don't take place in this country. All of we within our public offices don't see them one day. And we all they take cue from that. And if in terms of changing perception, with all of them things and their activities then in the fight against corruption, we don't go on in this country. The public itself don't see how administration they take on previous administration in terms of looking into how they administer public fund. So over time, that alone don't go a very long way for change the perception index for how we fight corruption. And this don't make other countries themselves within the sub-region, don't they admire Sierra Leone in approach in the fight against corruption. And this really don't go largely for able for help we for change the perception. And so even the international body, even with donor partners them, this don't really boost them confidence to the extent that in 3 years, within 3 years, Sierra Leone don't able for even we qualify for the MCC compact just in 3 years time. So we come a country at a time where the image of this country be done battered as a result of impunity in the way people and they use public fund and they mismanage and thief public money with the hope say nobody not go after them, and where it be also even difficult for the ACC able for intervene into how corruption issues them or how issues them way the audits they raise, how them go for look into it and bring some of them issues and they to the knowledge of the public. And over time, all of them things and they don't really go to a very large extent for change the perception of the public in terms of fight against corruption.
So back to the issue of the manifesto where you begin for talk about the promise them where they inside the manifesto for fight against corruption, when are the People's Manifesto, New Direction, where this BO-led administration used for Kamna office. The manifesto talk say this government, well, Latin have been promised for some kind of power, and I go to get corruption not only as governance issue, but as security threat. You don't talk about some stripes them where according to you, the government don't ensure so them put in place for fight corruption. But the issue again of pick and choose and the fight against corruption, now one thing where they inside down a manifesto they for say the SLPP government we can have power, no go pick and choose and fight against corruption. And that sacred cow the way una say una no go pick and choose. Now concern we don't come from the political party the way we've been getting at the studio on Thursday and serve the All People's Congress APC party. From the SLPP point of view, how this government don't handle the fight against corruption where you say on another pick and choose. Whose case they don't happen with current administration compared to how then they do the one them for the past administration?
Well, if you say pick and choose, if you don't give me specific instances, for liable know exactly.
As you tell we how una don't.
Well, generally, me no know of any pick and choose issues. The ACC has been very professional in terms of discharging their job for really bringing to book people and way corruption issues they around, and government no don't ever interfere for say no go after that they no go after that day. You understand? So waiting the ACC don't they do normally now for use professionalism for approach the issue and also be very practical given the circumstances and see how much they're going for bring certain issues to book. We not don't see issues or areas who say blatant corruption don't occur where the ACC don't intervene. Sometimes even on the public opinion, without anybody going formally for go report to ACC. ACC don't take actions and don't look into certain issues. When issues that even around corruptions don't come, people can't sit on a radio, raise issues. ACC don't take them time for looking into them. Even when we talk about the Africanist press now, Africanist press, well, I certainly know say CD will certainly jump into the same alarmist theory way the Africanist press they do. Waiting over time, we don't look at, I don't take me time for really browse through most of the things and way they pull. First of all, he make mention of money being disbursed to the office of the First Lady and try for raise issue, say, the First Lady in issue now in office now one office we're not legitimate for get money from consolidated fund. But then in not taking time for understand the laws, we actually make provisions for that. If you go under section 37 of the Public Financial Management Act, that provision give the minister the authority for make able for allow certain disbursement of public fund as much as a gear towards undertaking projects where they of public interest and will require public spending. So also Yeri CD they try for make a reference to the fact say when the ACC was called to look into corruption allegations around the office of the First Lady, then decide for go back for look into how many years back. But then I want for like I bring CD knowledge to which we call sources of law. Sources of law certainly get for do with precedent actions and also something we don't happen over time naturally can become a law. It become part of the customs and traditions of the people, and that is also part of law when a source of law. And if you try for also do a proper analysis for know whether there has been discrepancies in the execution of public policy or public authority, then you get for go back and get reference from how it don't happen right over time and who say this current system don't miss them. But if you not get reference points, you're not able to go back, you're not able to do a proper analysis and able to know say it don't go wrong. If we been say expenditure into the office of the First Lady now with this administration it starts, then you not get any reason for go back. You now need for go for look. Waiting at the laws.
We go for look at the allegations and the way don't come out. The reason why I've been asked about the issue of pick and choose, you don't take consideration also of the number of cases where the ACC don't investigate, but the past administration compared to this of the current administration.
But if you look at the past administration, we say people and physical for its public money they do it with impunity, and for 11 years in administration.
How you go justify that?
Fine. I don't begin for say that now. I say it'd be very difficult for like the previous ACC able for look into audit reports them within the race. And in as much as you keep certain things in the dark, you left the public for group in the dark, where the public they in doubt around waiting the audit report don't raise. Then certainly the public get for form an opinion say there is corruption where the ACC not able to get access into. Now even though it's a law. That's now the Public Account Committee now in charge for look into into audit report. But yet, as a government, what we don't do, we say part of we own policy approach in the fight against corruption, or generally for deliver service for people, we say we go for collaborate. So with this current administration, the ACC don't able for the collaborate with the PAC for look into the audit issues that we don't raise. Then we also even look at the NACOVAC where CD make mention of here. The audit raise issue say, because corruption issues within NACOVAC. ACC look into that as well. Then use their own policy guideline and also laws we make them able for look into the issues with NACOVAC and able for realize say, okay, waiting the audit report raise, it not necessarily means a corruption occur, but rather people buy the computer itself, but even they're not buying with regards to the specification. So on that note, the audit report raised that as a red flag, and what happen? They're able to make sure say, then punish the one them way undertake that kind of procurement where they not go according to buying those computers in line with the specification.
Mr. Liman,
and also even fine about 250 something million where then people that they don't pay and then people that they don't lost job.
Mr. Liman, you earlier talked now and said the fight against corruption largely gets for do with public perception. So now the same thing in confidence, Mr. Sidia Tunis now self they make mention of. But as a party, the APC, they're concerned about the Auditor General's report. Mr. Tunis now talk about the 177 billion loans from the auditor's report. You talk about the 55 billion loans also mentioned from the office of the president. As the party in ruling, una satisfy or una concern, not satisfy, una concern, but there huge money there also where the audit reports can make mention of.
Yes, definitely. You know,
And as a party,
I know,
waiting una they do.
fine. I don't expect CD to say something different. Waiting, as much as at this very Africanist press, they raise alarm on issues where you're not able for justifying at the same queue where CD actually done too. Because, people, they feel say Sierra Leoneans are not intelligent, but we are getting it wrong. Sierra Leoneans, whether educated or not, they are very intelligent in terms of assessing issues. They just can't raise alarm and say, oh, this office don't use how much billion, because that's the alarmist theory where then they try for create for sure say, oh, this person don't use 30 how much billion, but justify how this person use this money, because in the first place, every of those public offices are established by a statutory instrument. Now, you get for first of all draw up activities and budget those activities. And when you budget the activities, then they can't go to parliament. Because we go, finance get a session, we say all ministries or MDAs, they go defend them budgets. Civil society organizations are there. And at the end of the day, when they don't discuss and justify them budgets, then normally finance can take that budget to parliament. And when you take the budget to parliament, parliament go for deliberator and approval. And when you don't approve and the person don't expend that budget where it don't put towards activities, then at the end of the day, you say this kind of money, they don't allocate unto this person in just 1 or 2 years. But then that person not grab just from the night or in the middle of water and say, this 9 hours for you.
You keep for say the Africanist press na alarmist, but let me look at the last publication we do, and then the response from the NPPA boss and make mention of say they are aware of the procurements and the way happen, and which na him the Africanist press publish. So if it happen for be so, how you call now alarmist?
I not get that side clear, please.
So, like, we the example of furnitures or items where the office of the chief minister buy. The NPPA boss now say aware of all them procurements then they way happen and some na sole sourcing. So, how you go call down the alarm? We don't get officials also we confirm say indeed they are aware of them procurements.
Okay, fine. What's in the Africanist press say? It say the chief minister office buy office furnitures without going through procurement. Without going through procurement. Now the expert in the procurement departments don't care and tell we say no. It still go through the procurement regulations. So sourcing na part of the procurement policies or laws. You understand? Not to say na an aspect way of constitutes the procurement requirement. So if sole sourcing also now part of the procurement requirement, then understand the circumstances in which they can allow sole sourcing. So if the circumstances warrant that, for like the office of the chief minister do sole sourcing and it forms within that particular aspect of the law or policy, then it don't care, it don't justify them. Somebody come here again for still also try for lie to the public, say, now defend it, they defend. You are not defending, so you can only defend something where it's right. When something is not right, it's difficult to defend.
The program Good Morning Salon, they continue, and we still get to studio guest them, Lahai Lawrence Lima from the Sierra Leone People's Party and Sidia Tunis from the All People's Party, APC. I'll come over to you now, Sidia Tunis. We continue for look at waiting the BU administration don't do so far and the fight against corruption. And we don't begin to talk about different allegations them of corruption. Where don't they come up this PNTM? Well, according to Lahai Lawrence Lima from the Sierra Leone People's Party, he don't try for explain some of the things them way this administration don't do for fight corruption. But we go to the institution back where they in charge for fighting corruption itself. Although the APC we don't state earlier say believe say then they pick and choose and the fight against corruption. I want to ask again, what's on a makeup of some of the allegations them and how the ACC they handle them, especially the one that we don't come up this BNTM, we just don't hear is from them, this BNTM say, then they look at the one for the office of the First Lady. But not to the office of the First Lady no more, we don't get the allegations here come from. The African Express, for example, we don't refer to, don't make this allegation them from inside March from the Ministry of Finance. They don't talk again about the Office of the Presidency, where they bring evidence them again at that time where them pull say people use money in them parts and the way they're not able for justify. And we see again they don't pull out one for the Office of the Chief Minister. Waiting the APC thing, but the way how the Anti-Corruption Commission they handle some of the allegations here where they come out.
Well, we're not even sure say the ACC don't begin for handle any of them anyway, because not just pronouncement the commissioner make. But what's very important is not to the first time this way we don't begin for be very much concerned as to how the commissioner want for go about fighting corruption. From the time where the 2018 audit report come out, now they we begin for gross suspicion, and even before that, the manner in which been the bundled members of the main opposition we serve in the previous administration, sometimes lock them up for days, even before charging, or before commencing investigation. But in pronouncement 2018, where it came out after the 2018 audit report for defend, say, well, the audit cover periods spanning 2015 to 2018. I mean, then came public pronouncement before you even start for look into the report itself. It throws some, doubts into the fight generally. And when you listen to some of the things that Will Lehman they say now, they talk about commissions of inquiry and all of them things and we as a party always they say, they fed corruption on a corrupt process. No. The process on which they fed corruption get for be fair, it get for be within the laws, and it get for go according to the processes and waiting the law say how for fetan. We see commission of inquiry where they talk about, the process in which they go about and how flawed it was, how much it go against the laws of this country, and where people then even, challenge them in the Supreme Court. We're up to today, we're not reading cases, but then still go ahead and continue with that flawed process there, even though most of the evidence is we then present now the commission of inquiry itself not being correct. Like, for example, the asset values. I mean, you go take somebody for value assets, we not get any qualification for be a violator, valuator. We not get any, requisite experience for be a professional evaluator. Even where the issues were raised, they still go ahead for accept. Now, I really man they say the finance ministry get right for disburse money by any program where if you say they in the national interest. That is very interesting. In attempt for defend the fact say money go to an office where, as far as we are concerned, not to statutory office. Now, I will bring you back to the attention of one of the major cases within the Commission of Inquiry, the case involving Finance Ministry helping the Rokel Commercial Bank for bail them out of liquidation. There was a time where Rokel Commercial Bank been the struggle, so the Finance Ministry at that time decide for loan them money for save them out of bankruptcy, liquidation, and then give the bank certain amount of money. Now, Rokel Commercial Bank, now one of the most profitable bank in this country. The Commission of Inquiry not go after Rokel Commercial Bank for pay back the money, then go after the finance ministers. But now here we are, my brother and I had to try for justify money, we then give to office, we not get no bearing on this on the state at all. We don't get no benefit to the state at all, but then, so these are some of the things we will look into, where we feel, say, this fight, as far as corruption concerned, not really the go the way high for go. And I also tell him and say, the collaboration between audit, PAC, and ACC, not to today's start. Even during the previous administration, even previous administration, the PAC, the ACC, and audit don't collaborate. For example, through the engagement with audit service, the ACC then set up what they call disaster transparency management, where then they ensure, say, a lot of transparency and accountability there into how we manage disaster funds. Now that make where the mudslide been calm, you know, area about issues of on procure laptops and all them things then they. And even during Ebola, when them do real-time audit, immediately the PAC gets onto the case, then parade the one that will be involved, and the hearing was aired openly. The radios, the TVs, then carry the hearing. The one that way they find one thing, they found the one thing, and then levied the penalties then on them. So all of that is how you fight corruption in a transparent manner. You not get specific people and where you target as we they see it they happen now.
So
the fact is, we not get nobody indicted yet under this administration when a high-profile person, despite the fact that when they see cases they come up will involve people in the administration we clearly don't involve in corruption. And the fact is, we are still seeing flawed processes being used for go after opposition members, them lock them up, under this.
So in these 3 years, almost 3 years of President Biwi administration, you nothing good nor the way the government don't do in the fight against corruption.
I mean, we they see waiting at this government in interest. And as far as they are concerned, they're okay with that, which is they're more concerned about placement na table indices na the international, with the international organizations they pull. Transparency International, this and that. So they're interested in that. So as far as we are concerned, then they score high by that, they are fine. But the fact of the matter is, then they reflect on the reality on the ground. And then even when we look at their indices, then you take MCC for example. Me no say the MCC cycle, they start October to June the next year. So in 2018, definitely, if MCC can score 71% in October 2018, then it must have been for a work done between October 2017 to June 2018, when a period we cover clearly at the Macaulay period. International rating. When he introduced the act in 2008, we amend and we bring all of them regulations, we strengthen the ACC, we jump to 137, and then later to 119. But they pay attention to just those aspects. I mean, even though those are very good indicators, they give the international credibility. But what is happening on the ground, not they reflect. And it is even more worrisome now for some of we, when we sit down, we they look at, again, a one for downplay African Express. But when we sit down now, we they know say we actually they pay people the money outside for let them write good things then, but we can't see. I mean, that is in itself deception.
All right.
I mean, go deceive the people and the international world in that manner. That in itself is morally wrong.
All right, Mr. Lehman, the publicity secretary acting for the APC concern, but say this administration not indict, where the ACC not indict any high-profile person in it, and that the process itself in all of it flawed. That this administration concerned, but in this is not the international side they want to see the ratings high. As the SLPP, wanna share the same view with waiting Mr. CD say?
Well, in the first place, if CDD talks, say they not indict this, they not indict that. Unfortunately, the audit report, they go back to 2016 to 2019. So CD1 tell you say because they mention a name na the COI during the time we've been the the Ebola fight. So does that mean therefore just come and indict them because a name be mentioned on the audit report or corruption issues? No. We in our government, we believe in professionalism, and we not just indict because of the name say they don't mention corruption issue around you. First of all, we need to be very clear on this for no say. Sierra Leone, with no disrespect or meanness, but this country full of bad art. So sometimes somebody there behind the scene, they just hate you and make mention of you. But we look into the issues and see waiting at the issues that we don't raise. Let's talk about corruption here. You put money into something. At the end of the day, you don't budget for money, then you're not able to utilize that money for the purpose. Then we go for look at if the issues are clear, then on the face of it, then the ACC or even the ACC go look into it and charge the matter to court. And the court able to prove them, say at least you're guilty of misappropriation, then they can charge you. So it's not just about indicting or not indicting. Now, even on the issue of talking about corruption, first of all, there's this concept where they call in law, say locus. First of all, I don't know what's in a CD and the APC, the interest for talk about corruption. This is an administration where CD they represent here, where don't sit over the biggest thievery in this country, where not to we no more don't talk them, the public don't talk them.
So now competition?
They come. The public don't talk them. Audit documents or audit records don't prove them. COI don't prove them. It's just can't happen. Say in a country like Sierra Leone, we need for respect public perception and public view. That is even why I go even can sit down for we able to discuss on the issues there. But coming here, not a competition like where you ask Mabel in your side questions. Coming here for make I can sit down, then somebody they try for like lie on the public on issues we're not factual. It tell you say they not even treat the public with any sense of seriousness. I'll come talk about the Rukel issue, commercial bank issue we talk about here. The COI make mention of that. Waiting then say the Minister of Finance exceed in threshold, you understand, for waiting it been supposed for disbursed. And when you exceed your threshold without any justification, then Dande itself, it require for make you able to explain why you do that. So it not necessarily means say you they compare that, you understand, for mean the same when the Minister of Finance disburse public money for a work where the First Lady in office they undertake, we get for do with public issues. And let tell you, some of the good works, the results of waiting, the good work where the office of the First Lady to do. We likely sometimes even partner with some of the civil society works them, like we wanna ask my they do for able for protect women and girl child. So if we don't take over governance at the time where the perception of the public and the people, even young men, the way then they tamper with girl picking in this country is so much alarming to an extent that it become a public concern where even the leader, the president of this country being therefore declare that as an emergency issue. Then we don't sit down and they say that is a public concern and it's a public interest, and the First Lady in office they undertake a campaign of that nature where it able for bring in other countries them to Sierra Leone for make able for change the perception of the public, and we see how much really Dande are able to create the impact.
So if somebody raise concern about Dande, say I want for know why the whatever they in charge not just explain what it mean rather than saying no go back 14 years ago how another First Lady self been on they spend money. That is difficult to explain.
Where today at least the perception of the public regarding rape issues or sexual penetrations don't largely change. Today you see, then go see that small pikin and always say you want for go tamper, they go tell you say come on be na pikin de na Fatima and pikin. At least that don't go to a very large extent for let the public able for no say. You touch pikin when are underage, na an offense. So at least that campaign don't able for score a goal. Now we commodity, even the special tribunal where we don't set for able for fast track some of them sexual penetration issues or issues where get for do with rape, all of them and they don't cause that impact as a result of that campaign where the office of the First Lady take. So if the office of the finance minister able for disburse money for able for undertake project of that nature, it means say irrelevant and it's still there within the threshold of the budget or the laws where the Minister of Finance they operate under. And like you say, me just don't raise issues as to how the Minister of Finance disburse money to an office where statutorily established. But I don't want to let you make you misunderstand the concept. Say not only waiting statute established, but even by reason of public policy. And the fact say the office of the First Lady, not we begin for disburse money day, and we find out say the method in which the previous administration be done to disburse money on the running of the First Lady, the office of the First Lady, is an extension of the work of the presidency. So if we take cue from that, it's a good approach where we self-decide for follow, but we not follow them on the wrong path for, like, say with the right projects, they will not disburse money into them projects, then like where it happened in the office of the First Lady in the previous administration, which I will see a lot of ghost projects them where money going to, and those projects were not visible. Today we have projects where the office of the First Lady they run and where we don't see the impact and we don't feel the results. So this is the difference in the fight against corruption and the campaign where we the push and where the perception really don't permeate almost every minds of Sierra Leoneans, where today people are very much aware of corruption issues, and that is even why we are sitting here discussing issues of corruption. Social media, people go raise them. The issue of also Africanist press, I say it alarmist because if they raise issue, then you're not able to tell you what are the discrepancies. Mrs. James, where you run here, they just grab one money, say you run 98.1. You the cost how you want for run 98.1. At the end of the financial year, you sit down back, you tally. If what you spend is commensurate to what you budget for, if you exceed that, what make you exceed that, and how you go prevent that from making it happen next.
So the concern so don't come from what you talk, Solima, that the amount of money and evidence where the pool says some of the officers they use this money. Not to this the bio administration be promise salon people. Even say they come for block leakages, let people left for the waste money.
Okay.
Now that's not the concern of people and say the huge amounts of money where they're going to some of them places here. Not supposed for they go there at this time where the country still a struggle for get a strong economy.
Okay, fine. In terms of blocking leakages, we've made a very considerable effort for make we block leakages, for make we even get a single treasury account. Now that make even we start for finance education in this country without any donor assistance. That tells you we're able to block their leakages and they're able to raise money. But equally so again, in terms of talking about public expenditures, say it exceed waiting, but of course, may not see even say exceed that. Now we see a lot of civil society organizations who can't sit on a radio and raise issues them, you understand, as to how government for able for take approach or even bring in policies where able for improve the livelihood of people or even also create an effective service delivery. And if government get for listen to some of them concerns, then where civil society they raise, you get for establish offices, and those offices established get for be budgeted for, and you get for spend money into their offices then they. Right. Now, in terms of also establishing offices, you know they just do them from the blues. You get for go learn from areas then whose side and don't able for perform them well where it don't happen for best practices, and you can for can implement here. If, for instance, I'm traveling as a government minister, sometimes like the way we they travel, me and I travel with personal assistants. Where you go with other countries, you see they come with their personal assistants, then PA, then secretary. Yes, because you are moving with the sovereignty of the country. And like the people in the field say, when we sit as minister, we are traveling, get per diem. It's just like wasting or people they give money. First of all, it's statutory. That is one. Secondly, I'm going as a government minister and also representing the sovereignty of Sierra Leone. That respect therefore be accorded to Sierra Leone so that will be treated seriously. So these are some of the areas where people they say the money too weighty, but those monies are not just expended; they are being budgeted for into an activity program. So if they don't draw up an activities at the end of the day, then budget money, then you end up for find out say okay they don't spend this money into these activities. Then leftover don't they? Who's that leftover go? Now then kind of issues and they would expect for let the Africanist press. And even people that will not get locals for talk about corruption, one for talk about that. Now there are issues and one for let them can raise. That means they are justified to raise some of those issues.
Continue for the
but if you
Mr. Lehman, continue for the between at the program and they come over to see the Yaya Tunis. Now, Mr. Lehman say the administration are able for block leakages by the single treasury accounts.
Then block leakages, but they open gutters. So the money they flow, in a manner in which we certainly understand as a nation. The fact of the matter is, then people they talk about Sierra Leoneans' intelligence. Yes, Sierra Leoneans they're intelligent enough, and that make when you need to walk out all over the streets, you hear these issues because the Sierra Leoneans are not fool. You talk about people not get locals for talk about corruption, we get. And that is why we are talking about it, because with records as far as fighting corruption is concerned, it's enviable. as far as this country and the international world concerned. So, we can't sit down and lecture on corruption. The fact is, right now, when I get serious issues with accountability, when I get serious issues, never in the history of this country, we don't see any public official go team up na public talk say, if they give you money for contract, you can perform 99% and each 1%. Never in the history of Sierra Leone would a republic official go team up and talk. And then you want to talk about low cost? Come on. The thing is, these people they over-exaggerate, then believe in publicity, then believe in deception. Let's even talk about the money the way ACC say then they recover. Most of them money then they recover not from corrupt practices. These are monies where institutions they owe other institutions, the way sometimes they delay for pay, way through ACC, then come and increase the recoveries. And I go through some, students enough for the buy forms. But the colleges then go actually ahead, Boku students then buy forms. That money the ACC recover, they not pay back to the students. They paid into the consolidated funds. You talk about the hillside bypass recoveries. We now at the Macaulay start. All of them things then they TPMS paid
Mr. Liman, allow
be
Mr.
to NCP really. That be so not to NCP really then before go. But when ACC collect, they say then put on a console. So these are some of the funds where then they collect where every year, we don't recover 30 billion, we don't recover this billion, we don't recover that billion. So I mean some of them things they are would they get them right and we they highlight them and would they put them forward. Fight corruption in a transparent manner.
Which we are doing.
You are not. I mean they fight corruption in a flawed manner. Targeting specific people, and it is very clear.
APC say the audit report now a mere public opinion, but today they want to rely on the audit report simply because of the manner in which APC, the ACC don't approach the fight against corruption for able to collaborate with PAC. So we're not getting any audits. Look us for talking about corruption.
All right, gentlemen, we can wrap up the program
at cabinet level.
Mr. CD, before I come to Mr. Liman, what do I expect the government for do now? This administration for do in the fight against corruption?
I mean, the laws are very clear as far as fighting corruption is concerned. And of course, so far, we have not seen the administration looking inwardly and taking the seriousness of corruption as far as it relates to people where they serve in this administration. Their own version of corruption so far has been go after the opposition, silence them, humiliate them, and go after people we no matter, teachers, and you name them, and left the real corrupt people continue for corrupt this nation, siphon with money them, make transfers to overseas accounts and all of them things, then they take with money, they travel, go live lavish lives and come back. These are some of the things we concerned with, and every penny we spend in that manner, they hamburg the lives of the people of this country. So as opposition we're concerned, the actions of this government, they remind me clearly of Emerson record Tufut Arata. Their action is so replica of Tufut Arata.
Okay. Mr. Lehman, that's now waiting the opposition APC get for say through the publicity secretary with regards to fight against corruption as party, and all this they come to the government way una party they represent. Waiting you get for say to this.
Well, we believe, say, we get a clear mandate and we get a clear policy guideline in the fight against corruption. And this administration not unjustly go after previous corrupt officials. And we use every professional approach for make sure, say, we bring to book past public corrupt officers and then self go and do an undertaking and pay some of them corrupt monies and they way then be thief from the public money. And the government in effort for able to fight corruption, because it gets a clear guideline, able to make government increase budgetary allocation for able for make sure say we deliver on the free quality education, where it come as a result of consolidating public revenue collections. And we also look at even the post-independence celebration, which people then be the lavish public money. We come in the bid for make we able for make sure say we minimize public spending and even corruption issues. There are times in this country where presidents don't decide say we're not spend much money in post-independent issues. We can ceremonially do the celebrations without spending public money hugely into it. So largely this government gets a clear guideline as to how we fight corruption, and we don't try for achieve that, and the perception of corruption really in this country don't change, and we will continue for work hard. We will continue for bring in more robust and pragmatic policies. We go for change the dynamics so that this country it go better power for we all, including even those who not get low cost for consider and talk about corruption but then believe say in the life and the public simply because then feel say the public is gullible. But we believe say we not deal with a gullible public. Now make we treat the public with all level of seriousness, and we believe in transparency, and on that principles they will be able to run governance. Now that make the people that will continue for believe in this administration and believe in the SLPP.
Any locus on corruption where it comes to violation of the constitution, which is what you guys are doing in most cases.
Say we don't violate laws, but COI don't prove una say una not get locus. And also audit report don't prove say una not get locus. Courts don't prove that. And we, the APC, don't convict people for corrupt practices, whether in office and also in previous administration. And at the same time, the APC don't retrieve money from previous corrupt officials. We clearly justify say the APC is really synonymous with corruption in this country. And the SLPP is synonymous with development and transparency in this country.
Well, on general the program this morning, gentlemen, we've been getting Hailo and Slima from the Sierra Leone People's Party, and also Sidia Tunis from the All People's Congress, APC. Well, now this edition of the program, Good Morning Salon Golefona, plenty thank you to the production team, Michael Sambola and Alex Lens.